rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
No, not again. Not again. I don't.
Ready?
I don't want to.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I almost chose paper, Sue.
Ready?
No. Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. That's a clean sweep. Megan, please introduce everyone to what we're watching today.
This is my third time doing it in a row.
No, I don't know. Audience, we can't remember who hosted episode 6. Let us know. I don't remember.
We'll find out, editor.
Hey, editor, let us know who hosted episode 6. I genuinely don't fucking remember. That feels like a year ago we recorded that.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rated MA. I'm Meg. This is Allie, and today we'll be continuing our Andor watch of season 1, episode 7. And this is called the announcement.
She got it in the end. That's what matters.
If you see Allie and I looking down at any point, that is because we are taking notes. We have our notebooks right here, and then we'll be having a discussion at the very end of the episode. That's about it, right?
Only one thing I want to add as a disclaimer. I told you guys at the beginning I was going to wear a Star Wars shirt for every episode. It's cold as hell in my basement, and I cannot find my Tatooine sweater. So if I find it, you guys will see it eventually. If not, you will have to take my Critical Role You Can Certainly Try hoodie. I apologize. It's cold as hell down here. Anyway, we will go ahead and jump into the episode.
Giving when will my husband return to war? Return
from war. When will he leave and go back to the war?
I don't want him here. I'm sick of him.
What makes you believe the Bureau of Standards is in the market for individuals?
Bureau of Standards.
He's done us a tremendous favor. You need to remember you're not just representing yourself today.
I like the framing of this shot a lot. I like how much dead space there is.
Yeah, it's a really interesting shot. It's not like a more common kind of shot to use. Definitely like a creative decision for sure.
Yeah, I mean, still follows the rule of thirds. It still had him framed up in like one of the thirds on the side, but it was, I don't know. I just don't think you would see an angle like that, because usually you want to follow what are called leading lines, which is eye line, where line of sight is. Like, for instance, if someone is on a profile shot and they're looking that way, normally the camera has the back of the head framed up on the side so that leading lines will show you what they're looking at. This was like a complete reversal of that. Very interesting. Very, very interesting shot.
Yeah, I don't know if they did it just because they thought it looked great and they had it, or if they were like, well, I want to make it seem a little bit off.
Can I throw out like a completely off base guess? Because normally leading lines show you like looking towards like the future, looking forward, and Cyril has no future, so he's not looking at anything. Backwards. It's just going backwards. I don't know. Tony Gilroy's a better director than I am, so maybe he can tell me at some point.
We will make it clear that no one steals from the Empire. The use of any local custom, festival, or tradition.
This is, I know his name, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. Admiral Yularen? Yularen, is that who that is? If I just pulled that name out of my ass, everyone cheer. Is it Admiral Yularen? Colonel Yularen.
134 Aldani residents have been taken into custody under suspicion of abetting the terror.
Oh, that sucks. The Aldani residents were taken into custody.
I should have called. We're on our way to the Senate. I realized we'd be passing by.
Ooh, I love this like blue that he's wearing.
I think I might want the other one.
A lot of blue on Coruscant.
Blue, white, and gold.
Oh yeah. It's probably just like the show, like wealth, prosperity.
Which is interesting because purple is usually the color that's associated the most with royalty and like wealth.
Is it true?
But I like the navy. The navy is really pretty.
I worried you might do something like this.
How I wish I had. Let's have a look.
I love the shop doors, by the way. Like, those were...
The Empire has been choking us so slowly we're starting not to notice. The time has come to force their hand.
Ooh.
People will suffer.
That's the plan.
I genuinely cannot imagine anyone else but Stellan Skarsgård playing Luthen, because the way he reads lines of dialogue with such gravitas is just like, I mean, I know he is an incredible actor, but I genuinely cannot imagine anyone else delivering his lines of dialogue quite so precisely. He's fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes actors really are just made for the roles that they play. They really are. And you're just like, there's nobody else. No
Yeah,
one.
I mean, like, a good script is a good script, and a lot of actors can do something with a good script, but a great actor can take a good script and make it a great script, just like that. That's the fun of being a writer and working with very talented people, is that they can take what you're good at and make you better.
Can't hide forever.
Man, it's going to be so sad when he inevitably dies in season 2. I just know it in my soul.
Nemec all over again.
Oh, I know his death's going to be like even worse. Like Palpatine himself is going to show up and personally execute him or some shit.
People think we're kidding when we say it, but it's true.
My worst nightmare is this fucking office.
At the Bureau of Standards.
Looks like a parking garage.
That's cool.
Yeah, these little pods are
Some
low-key
sectors
kind of
might-
cool, but I hate monotony, so it would drive me crazy.
Engages may seem a more vibrant arena than redundancy or verification, but
His mother seems to be
more
obsessed with
man
orange
on
and yellows, and he's in like orange,
Mhm.
and everyone else is dull in their monotonous life, like just so boring.
Clear my name and have my record expunged.
Why don't we start that process now?
So
Probably best for
Cyril's
everyone
like
to just
trajectory
edit this a
in
bit
season
before-
2, I'm gonna be so curious to see what happens with him, because I could see him dying and I could also see him surviving. I think it'd be really funny if they revealed at the end of season 2 that he was working on Scarif. I just think, and then like Cassian gets the whole planet blown up. It's like, motherfucker. Like, I think that would serve him so right.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, I need to know what's up with her. Like, what's her deal?
I love her jacket though.
I know.
Ooh, that
Her
look
hair.
too.
Mhm.
The red in her below her eyes match her jacket.
I love that. Like, I love the long, like, cowl hood. It's really cool. I forgot who she's supposed to meet someone, I think, but I don't remember who it is. Cool use of a mirror shot.
Mirror shots can look so cool, but oh my god, can they be your enemy?
They are a pain in the ass.
Oh my god.
I want a record of all missing avionics, comm, navigation, and targeting equipment.
I love her voice.
For which star system?
All star systems.
I want to say that I saw some interviews with her back when season 1 was still airing. I think she is a theater actor predominantly. Like, she's on stage, which tracks really hard for her. She seems like she has like a Shakespeare. She would do well in like a Shakespearean or something. But yeah, I believe she's a theater actress. And also, I don't know if I mentioned this to you last time. Her and the actor that plays Cyril are like besties in real life.
Are they really?
Yes, they're like best friends.
I love that so much.
I know, which is funny because I think they have a romance arc in season 2. I might have seen a teaser or something that hinted that they were gonna freak nasty or something. Hey, Vel.
Where is he? I shouldn't even be here.
Belle's got great hair.
We have a loose end. Cassian Andor, who you know is Clem. You need to find him.
Find him.
We can't have him walking around with Luthen in his head.
Be so funny if that was her brother.
There's a part of me that doesn't actually think we'll ever get closure to Cassian's sister, which I think is fine, and I think that is a satisfactory thing. I think it's also equally as interesting if Clea is his sister and just doesn't care. It's just like, no, he needs to die. But also, Cassian's name is not Cassian, it's Cassa.
Yeah.
So she might not know that it's him. She hasn't seen him yet, so
That's true.
Hey, we're back on Ferrex.
Just hold on.
B2 Evo.
Buddies.
Cassian.
Cassian.
Lock the door. Where have you been?
Ooh, he took a big risk coming home.
Yeah, he sure fucking did. I actually cannot believe he did come home.
We're getting out of here. We're leaving.
To go where?
Anywhere we want.
Oh, he's like a little kid.
Leave this mess behind.
When do we go?
We go tonight. Tonight? What do we need to take but the three of us?
My heart. Oh, I forgot about this, but this is hurting me in places I did not want to be hurt.
Oh no.
I don't remember. This is really fun. I don't remember why she doesn't want to leave, but she does not want to leave Ferrex.
No.
Mon Mothma, the clothing. Save me, Mon Mothma, save me.
It's a lie. The Mon Mothma people think they know. It's a lie. It's a projection. It's a front. Smile. There's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
Raising money. I need to access my family accounts. Until recently, I was able to dip in and out of my family fortune without concern. You're better off not knowing. Or perhaps you find my politics a bit strong for your taste.
Ooh, Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma with a good little monologue over here.
And Cassian.
Out here doing some fuck shit as per usual.
You can't be here, Cass.
Troopers won't catch me. Not here.
They won't have to. He'll be turned in.
Oh?
By whom?
By who? By anyone? People blame you for what happened.
He's like, bro, I wasn't even here.
We were doing a deal. You
You
said.
scam. You borrow. You lie. You disappear.
Your crazy boyfriend tries to get me killed, and I'm the villain.
You need to get as far away from here as you can.
You know it just killed her to say that to him, though.
She loves him. It's very obvious that she loves him. Just, babe, in the middle of the street? Yeah, that's not shady at all, babe.
This is...
Flashback.
Don't move. Stay here.
Hey, guys! Calm down!
Oh no.
Turn! Ready!
What's left to keep you here?
The rebellion. Then yesterday I heard about this attack at Aldani. Have you heard about this?
What about it?
Well, Bede played me the news. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the garrison of Albany.
I heard that. I put on my best coat and I walked across the square with a smile on my face.
Cassian's kind of like that, bit himself in the eye.
Tucker, can I speak now?
No.
Oh.
I'm over here in my feels. And B2 is like, can I go? No, buddy.
Stop searching for your sister. It's a fantasy. There were no survivors on Canary. What happened there was not your responsibility. You were a child. Let it go.
I'm wondering where we'd be right now if everyone here showed the same endeavor as Supervisor Mira.
Yeah, she finally gets her
compliment.
For the moment, I'm reassigning the Morlana sector to Supervisor Mira. Ferrex is of great interest to her and has clearly become a distraction for you.
Ooh.
I see no urgent problem, but as always, I salute the provocative
She is
exchange of
smirking
ideas.
with a frown.
Supervisor-
How the fuck do you do that? Like, I don't get it. Like, I can do like the Florence Pugh like deep frown, but I have no idea how she's doing that.
You know he hates her guts after that.
Oh my god, yeah.
He already did, but even more so now.
Watch your back.
Yeah, watch your back, he just told her. Niamos. I love this music too. This used to be on my writing playlists. I think it's the same club music that we heard at the beginning of the show.
Oh, really? You think so?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is.
Someone had a fun night.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. If this was my hotel room, low key, I'd be like, fuck yeah, bro.
He's open Revlock. The green ones.
Rode it through a shot.
I think so. Mm-hmm. Oh, like, are these like sand troopers? Is that what they're called?
I think so. I think they're actually sand troopers. I think you're right.
I think they're literally called sand troopers.
Yeah. Cassian cannot have a moment of peace now.
No. Oh, those are like probe droids, I think.
Yeah.
Probe droids? Is that what they're called? I think. It's been a long time, guys.
I believe it's a probe droid because those are the ones that are on the Rise of the Resistance, and we called it a probe droid.
Yeah, I think those are the ones that find the base on Hoth, I think.
Oh my God.
What do you think you're doing?
Excuse me?
You keep looking around.
This sand trooper is voiced by Sam Witwer, who is the voice of Darth Maul and Palpatine in the animated shows. I love Sam Witwer.
You got that right.
I was so excited when I saw the K2 unit at first, but then it wasn't K2SO, and I was so sad.
Cassian just cannot stay out of trouble.
Bro was literally just walking.
Charges.
Loitering at the scene of a crime.
Oh, I thought all this happened in the next episode, but I guess not.
Charges.
Civil disruption, anti-imperial speech, fleeing the scene of anti-imperial activity. I'm just a tourist.
Oh, apologies all round then. This used to be a 6-month sentence. 6 years.
Good little rack focus right there.
Oh, I missed it.
You did. Shame. You'll see it in the edit.
Depressed.
This has like a very like 2001 Space Odyssey, like Minority Report, like kind of feel to it. Was that the end? Damn. I think we say that at the end of every episode, like that was the end.
Go by so fast. And just like this episode, I think this episode probably felt the quickest.
It did. Well, I think this is the shortest episode we've had in a hot minute. That was like 46 minutes. Meg, that was Andor episode 7, the announcement. What did you think?
It was really good.
There was a lot of really good conversations in this episode.
There was such a long time where you and I were just like,
yeah, if there's like 45 seconds of dead silence and Meg and I just like aggressively watching, sorry, sometimes good writing is just good writing, guys. We just have to pay attention.
It was so good that I was just like, oh, I'm supposed to actually be doing things right now.
I know. And I was like, what do I take notes on? Like, good dialogue. Like, what?
I like it.
I like it.
I mean, fantastic. I mean, I felt really bad for Cassian just being a tourist. Bro could not catch a break. He wasn't doing anything, but when he actually does something, he doesn't get caught. But when he didn't do the thing, he did get caught.
Yeah.
Can't catch a break. Overall, I mean, I think this is a fantastic episode. I took 2 pages worth of notes.
Really? Because I barely took a whole page. I didn't even take a whole page.
I think mine are also just kind of like, yeah, just like key points and things that I'm like, oh yeah, this is probably good. See, I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
She's getting better and I'm getting worse. Well, I usually lead the notes discussion because I'm incapable of shutting the fuck up. So why don't you lead us this time and I'll fill in if I can. Don't laugh at me. It's true. And you know what the thing is too, is when we get into the editing process, because fun fact, Meg and I are the editors. When we reference the editors, we're talking to ourselves. We're kind of idiots like that.
A little bit.
When I get into the edit and I look at the waveforms for my audio, I'm like, wow, she really let me talk uninterrupted for 7 minutes and didn't say a thing. Yeah. I'm like, Meg, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? And then I have to chop it down so I'm not just like completely monologuing like a soliloquy.
Sometimes when I try to say something, you keep going and you don't even acknowledge it. Like, I can't say
Just tell me to shut up next time. You know what? I'm gonna stay quiet until further prompted.
Good luck with that one. I have, of course, the Aldani residents have been taken into custody. So that's really sad knowing that they have succeeded.
Yeah.
They were just enjoying the eye and then they just got taken in, which really sucks and it's horrible. So that's really sad. But also, I would love to talk about the whole Mon Mothma thing. She clearly was upset with Luthen, but how upset is she really if she's still wanting to kind of raise money and work in the shadows?
Are you asking like what I think about that, or is just like a general point of clarity?
Both.
So, from what I gathered from the conversation that happened in the shop, was that Mon Mothma and Luthen have been working together for some time. I don't actually remember if they ever tell us how long they've been working together.
I don't think so.
But it seems like they have had disagreements in the past. It seems specifically like they've had disagreements on how to proceed. Luthen is more of an extremist and Mon is more of an idealist. I won't say she's a realist because I actually think Luthen is much more of a realist, but he's more extreme in his viewpoints, whereas Mon Mothma...
I feel like with Mon Mothma, like you said, you don't think she's quite a realist. I agree with you on that only because she, like you said, she's an idealist. She has like this thought, she has like what she would like to see, but sometimes to get to that reality, you do have to be a complete realist to know things aren't going to go as smoothly as she wants to. I know she knows that, it's probably not going to be easy and it's going to be a fight, but how much do you really think she's willing to get her hands dirty at this point to be able to get to that point? Because it's not going to be, you're going to have to get dirty at some point.
Right. Mon Mothma is very interesting to me because her character has been expanded a lot outside of main Star Wars. And when I say main Star Wars, I'm talking about the 9 movies. I'm not talking about Solo and Rogue One. I'm talking specifically about the 9 movies. Like, her character isn't really, like, she's there in the original movies, but she's such a side character that it doesn't really matter. George Lucas intended to expand on her in the prequels, and Genevieve O'Reilly, who is playing her in the Andor show, was cast back in the early 2000s, late 90s, when George Lucas was doing the prequels, but her scenes were cut. A lot of her scenes were cut. And then when they started doing the animated shows, Dave Filoni started doing Clone Wars and Rebels, they had Genevieve O'Reilly come back and voice Mon Mothma there. Mon Mothma has been expanded upon since then, and it's been really interesting to see the growth of her character. What I know from her and what I know about her, what I've learned from Rebels, actually, you meet Mon Mothma in Rebels. Rebels takes place around a group of people called the Ghost Crew, who fly a ship called the Ghost. And they are a subsect of the rebellion that do runs. And you find out at some point that they work with Mon Mothma. And Mon Mothma leaves the Senate and publicly denounces Palpatine and calls Palpatine a traitor and calls him like a traitor to the Republic, a traitor to the, like to the people and all this other stuff, and becomes like public enemy number 1. And the Ghost Crew picks her up after her speech. And she goes into hiding. And that's when she, joins Yavin and all the other rebels and stuff. And then we see her in A New Hope. So she's really interesting, but based on the conversation that she had with Luthen, it seems a lot like she wants to play everything fair and safe because that's like a political approach. But Luthen is a realist in that he's been on the ground. He's seen the way that people are suffering, not on Coruscant, but out in the real world. And he knows the Empire and the Republic and all that, they're not going to play fair. So we can't play fair. That's not how this game works. And we are playing a game. And if you want to win, you have to try to win. He had a great line that I actually wrote down, which was, has anyone ever made a weapon that wasn't used?
Yes.
Which I thought was such a great line of like, hey, if they have all these weapons and they have all this tech, what the hell do you think they made them for, Mon? They're not just there for show. They are there to be used, and we have to retaliate. I mean, that's a very, very, very common stance to have in war, is like one city's gearing up and the other is like, well, we got to retaliate. And then that's how we get wars. That's how it starts. So Mon, it looks like, is trying to neutralize a war before it starts, and Luthen is more of a realist in that it's gonna happen either way. We have to be prepared. So
Yeah.
I think this is the moment that Mon realizes, like, shit, make or break. Got to make a choice.
Now, her character is really interesting. I actually really, really love Mon Mothma.
She's great.
So let's go back to the dinner party.
Yeah.
Her childhood friend clearly is there and everything, and she clearly trusts him. But it seems like he still thought that her alliance was more with the Empire still, but you can tell he makes hints about being on the same side that Mon Mothma is actually on.
Right.
So I also love that comeback she made at the end. The conversation. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, so the dinner party was her husband's doing. Her husband put that together and did that. The man she was talking to, his name is Tay. I wrote down Tay Kolma. I'm not 100% sure on the last name. I think that's right, but his name is Tay. He is her friend from Chandrilla, which is the planet that Mon Mothma is from. She's a senator of Chandrilla, and he is her childhood friend. I think he is a banker, I think is what she said, because she needs him to get access to her family funds so she can fund the rebellion, which is what Luthen needs, right? And she needs him to do it secretly and securely because everyone is watching her. It's interesting that that was the place that she chose to do it, but if that was the only time that she was going to see him, I can see it being like, hey, I got to shoot my shot, you know? She had that, I mean, her speech was incredible about her being like, this is what they think I am, and I'm okay with them thinking that as long as they don't know what I'm really doing. We literally just talked about red herrings a couple episodes ago about like what a red herring is. Mon Mothma is setting herself up as a red herring. There's the senator and then there's Mon underneath. The senator is the red herring. This is what you think she is. She's running all of these charitable events. She's arguing in the Senate. She's pushing for peace and neutrality, whatever, but underneath she is funding a rebellion. We know she is pushing for war. And it's really interesting that she's setting herself up like this, but this is subterfuge is what you have to do to succeed. I mean, she is a spy, for lack of a better term. So it's interesting. And I love the idea of her trying to branch out and trying to reach out in the way she knows how. And I have an inkling of how it ends for her, but I don't 100% remember, which will be fun to revisit. So
I'm looking forward to it. Speaking of Luthen and Mon Mothma, and we were talking about the conversation that they had in Luthen's shop. So Vel is on Coruscant now.
She is.
And met up with Clea.
Yes.
So that was very interesting, and how Clea wants Cassian taken out.
She called him a loose end.
Yeah. And it would be really interesting if we ever found out that was his sister.
Yeah, it's interesting because I can see that going a few ways. Either they're not related at all, and it's fine. I would be fine with that. If we never find out anything about Cassian's sister, I am 100% okay with that. I think there are some audience members who might not be okay with that. I am not one of them. I'm fine with never knowing because I think that's realistic. It's a whole galaxy, and you think that he's going to find one person that he hasn't found in 20 years? No.
And he doesn't know what she looks like anymore.
Yeah, she was a child. Like, she was like 6 or 7, maybe, the last time he saw her. So I am fine if he never finds it out. If it is Clea, there's a couple different ways that can go. She can either be excited to see him and they can reunite or whatever. She could hate him because he abandoned her. Because as far as we know, we don't actually know what was said at the end of that. Was it the first or second episode when he left before he got picked up by Marva? And we kind of assumed that it was like a I'll be home later, I'll be back soon, like wait for me type of thing. That
she's like, you abandoned me now.
Yeah, and I think that could very much turn into like, I waited for you. Where the fuck were you? Like, you didn't come back. And she could assume that he abandoned her, that he died. She could be very angry with him. Or it could be something where she's upset, but like she's got a duty to do, right? She is here to further the rebellion, Cassian or no Cassian, familial relationships aside, there are sacrifices to be made in a time of war. And Clea strikes me as the type of character that would be willing to sacrifice a sibling for war, especially one that she hasn't seen in potentially 20 years. I believe from what I've seen of the season 2 trailer, there is a scene in which Cassian and Clea are on screen together and they are having a conversation. So I think they will eventually meet each other. So we will maybe get confirmation on that. Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows?
I will be very curious to see what happens there.
I would like to find out, but like you said, if we don't, will I wonder the rest of my life? Absolutely. But if it turns out not to be Clea, do you think she's alive?
It's really interesting that you ask that, because I made a note about Marva telling him to stop looking for his sister. The first thing that I thought was like, oh my God, is she lying to him to get him to stay away, to like make him stop searching? I was like, man, is she lying to him? I don't know. I don't know if I think she's alive or not. I think it could go either way. And like I said this once before, I think it is satisfactory either way. Like when Cassian killed the guard, I think that's what I said was like, if the guard was telling the truth or if the guard was lying, I think it would have been satisfactory anyway because Cassian killed him. If his sister is alive and he finds her, I think that's satisfactory and it's a good conclusion for his character. And if she's dead, I also think that's satisfactory. And if he never finds out, I'm also okay with that because I think that's very realistic for him, especially given that we're going to pick up in 4 BBY and we know that he's got 4 years left to live. So God forbid he does find his sister and die like 2 years later, you know?
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if it wasn't Clea, but she was alive, but maybe Marvin knows that maybe his sister's involved with the Empire?
I suppose Marva could know. She seemed to understand that the Republic and the Empire were coming to Kenari. Got there eventually. She seems to understand that they were coming to Kenari, and she told Cassian, like, stop looking for her. There were no survivors. It wasn't your fault. I'm wondering if something happened to the planet, like a war there, or if the Empire or whatever did go and did destroy it in some way. It very well could have been no survivors, or there could have been, or Marva was lying,
or they didn't get rid of it and it's still there. Kenari's still there.
Yeah, that would suck. I think it would be very interesting if Cassian went back to Kenari.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be very, very interesting. So everyone hates Cassian.
Yes.
Everyone hates him. And I mean, can you blame them? Because they literally got free of them whenever the Republic took over and now the Empire. So with Marva, I know she's like, of course, she loves Cassian. She's like, I never loved anything more than I've loved you. Also,
I know.
Do you think Marva has an anger towards him like everyone else does on Ferrix?
No, I don't think so. I think she loves him unconditionally, like he is her son. But I don't think she blames him for what happened because she knows him. And she made a comment to him at the end of their conversation in which he said, I'll be back. And she's like, I think she said, sure, you will, which felt very sarcastic of like, yeah, you're going to leave and we'll never see you again. Almost like she didn't have faith in him. I'm not 100% sure what she actually said, but that I remember having that thought of like, oh, I don't think she thinks he's going to come back for her. Like, I think because he told her he would come back for her and she was like, mm-hmm.
Well, think about it. Cassian is known for leaving. He's dipped out so many times. Bix even has made a comment about that where she's like, I think she was like, where are you going this time? Or like, what happened now? Like whenever he was trying to leave again, like back in the first couple of episodes, she made a comment about him leaving.
Right.
So, because when they were together, I think he probably tried to dip out a lot and she got really sick of it. And then that's probably also what helped lead them to the end of their relationship was just Cassian constantly in trouble, constantly leaving, using, and also Vix calling him out in this episode. I know that hurt her to her very core. She wanted him to get out, so she's going to hit him where it hurts, but also call out his behavior.
You lie, you steal, you cheat, like all those things, which to be fair, he does do all of that.
He does do it, and he needed to be called out for it. And I think him being called out for this, and then Marva also saying like, hey, she's already ready to fight with the rebellion now because of Cassian's actions led her to do that. And so all these people in this episode are seeming to kind of like put in this input, telling Cassian when he needs to hear. Also Cassian realizing that his decision to do this, well, not his decision, Luthen's decision for him to do this, bit him in the ass because now his mom is not wanting to leave Ferrix with him because she's now wanting to gear up with the rebellion. So he's just kind of going through it, and then he goes to the other planet, he's a tourist, and he gets arrested and gets sentenced to 6 years. So
yeah.
the one time he doesn't do anything, he gets arrested.
I know, which is so funny because I think it's so poetic. He does all of this stuff that by all regards should get his ass thrown in jail, and his crime was being near the scene of someone else's crime. I hate to say it, but there are parallels to be drawn between our own judiciary system here in the United States, but that's neither here nor there. But regardless, I think it is beautifully poetic that this is what gets him caught. Nothing.
Yeah.
He did nothing and he got caught. I think the only other note that I have is that we met Colonel Yularen, who I made a point to talk about earlier. Colonel Yularen is a character that I know best from Clone Wars. Shocking to all of you. What I think you will find interesting, Meg, is I doubt you remember him from Clone Wars because you meet about 1 billion fucking characters in the Clone Wars.
So many.
Colonel Yularen worked alongside the Jedi. He worked with Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano and Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is why I know him, because he was a good guy who turned tides when Palpatine tightened up everything after Order 66.
Palpatine is something else, man.
Yeah, he sure fucking is. Oh, and Sam Witwer. All my love to Sam Witwer.
You think Cassian ever liked Tim?
Fuck no.
Definitely not. He's probably questioning Bix on all her decisions when she was with Tim. Do you think he was surprised that Tim turned him in? Do you think he was more surprised that Tim knew and that Bix told him?
Surprise is hard. I don't think he was surprised that Tim turned him in. He knew he had been turned in by someone who likely didn't like him. And Cassian did not have, I say he didn't have a lot of friends, but clearly he did, because he had a lot of people that stood up for him and tried to protect him. But he had his fair share of people who were irritated with him. I think there was probably a list of people that could have been who turned him in, and I do think Tim was likely on that list, especially since Tim had been acting weird towards him in the days leading up to Cassian leaving and going to Aldhani. So I think it is very possible that Cassian was not surprised that it was Tim. As for him being surprised about Bix relaying the information that he was from Kenari, I do think that is a little more surprising, because when Cassian was talking to Marva, she was like, well, who knows? He was like, I don't know, you, me, Bix. And it was like, he probably only told her that when they were together. And it was probably like pillow talk or just something, a conversation that they had. But I don't know. I don't know why Bix told him that. Like, oh yeah, my ex-boyfriend Cassian, did you know he's from Kenari? It just seems like a weird thing to bring up. So I don't think they ever say why Tim knew or why Bix ever told him, but maybe Cassian was surprised by that. I don't know. He didn't seem all that shocked when Marva brought it up.
He wasn't even surprised when he was talking to Bix later that night or the next night or whatever for time.
I think it was the same night.
Probably. I would be really shocked if it wasn't.
I think he was literally home for like 5 hours and then dipped.
Valid. He really needed to get out of there. Clearly Marva and Bix told him to leave. To me, it's just like if he was really surprised, I think he would have brought it up to Bix, but he was probably just like, well,
shit happens. I don't think he saw it as a slight that she said, because he wasn't angry about it either.
No.
I don't think he was angry.
Okay. Well, that's all I had for my notes. I was just curious about that. And because honestly, seeing how much Bix does love Cassian, and like you said, and like you can clearly see she does love him, you can't blame him for being insecure about that, and like maybe a little bit, but also he really handled that the wrong way.
Yeah.
Don't be a Tim.
Don't be Tim. Point of order. Don't be Tim. Well, that was all my notes. I had Yularen. The K2 droids that we saw in Neomos were not K2SO, as far as we know. Could be K2SO, but it's not the K2SO that we know, not my good friend Alan Tudyk. The only other note that I wrote was that the judiciary system on Neomos is ass. That's all I wrote. Because Cassian was like, yeah, this offense used to be 6 months. Now it's 6 years. And he was like, huh? So that sucks. wonder if we'll get to learn more about that maybe on Narkina 5, the next episode.
We'll find out soon in the next episode.
That'll conclude for us here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be watching episode 8 next, which will be really fun. I'm very excited. Check us out for our next watch of Narkina 5. Super excited. The One Way Out episode, episode 10, is my favorite episode of the whole show. I'm super excited to get there. We're getting so much closer. Thank you guys for watching. For everyone that's been commenting and liking, thank you guys so much. And we will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye!